Today we are doing day 10. Day 10, I want to remind you that we're going to be taking Star 360 in May, and that's the most important test of the year. I'm going to remind you of that every day until we get there. It's important. So day 10 is over multiplying radicals and rational expressions. Multiplying radicals and rational expressions. Yes, fast. We're actually going to start at the bottom of the notes, and then we're going to do the top of the notes. So again, we're only doing the front side, not the back right now. And we're going to start at the bottom. So down at the bottom, to multiply with rational expressions, and remember that rational just means fraction. The word rational just means fraction. You must first recall the product rule for exponents. So these are exponents, and when you have exponents, with like bases, when you multiply the bases, you have to add the exponents. So when you multiply like bases, you will add the exponents. Rational exponents are, what did I just say rational means? Fraction. Since rational exponents are fractions, you must have a like denominator or common. You must have a common denominator before you can add them. And sometimes they already have the same denominator and sometimes they don't. Here, if I multiply the bases, they have to both be x's, both be y's, both be w's, whatever. If I multiply the bases, I will add the exponents. And so do they have a like denominator? Yeah, so I just add them together. 4 plus 2 is 6. So I get x. 6 over 7 is the exponent. And that's it. For the next one, if I multiply the w's, I add the exponents. Do they have a like denominator? Yeah, so it's easy. So I get 9 plus 1 is 10. If you can reduce, you will. Does 10 over 4 reduce? Yeah, they're both divisible by 2. So 10 over 4 reduces to what? 5 over 2. The next problem. Do I have like denominators? No. So how can I make like denominators? What should I do? Multiply this one by 2 over 2. And if I do that, then I get 2 over 4, and I do have like denominators. So I get 3 plus 2 is 5 over 4. Thank you. And the last one, I get x to the what power? 5 over 5. What's anything over itself? 1. Do I have to write x to the first power? It's just x, yeah. Wasn't sure if it would load. It wouldn't load yesterday. Name something people deliver for a living.
I think it's more new. Cash. News. Weather.
Like it has to be so obvious.
Groceries? Oh, that's cool. I would say something like that, because we only had like 104 points.
Ah, oh my goodness. I did
Yeah,
not
okay,
even
right.
think of that. Yeah, I did not think of that. The last time I cried in public was at I think we can play a whole round because today is so fast. Give me something that you would hate to see when you return to your parked car.
Yeah. I mean, that will make a difference in my car. An animal? An animal? No door? Root? Wow.
I was not thinking of something so silly.
I thought of it, but I said the same.
Name something you eat by the handful. Name a safety device you find on a car. Hello? Who? Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, thank you. I can't talk and type. Name something you own that you hate to have other people playing around with. Name something you should never be name something that should be never left alone. Julius, you're leaving. Huh?
Someone gave you a high five.
Oh, nice. You're gonna spend the next 10 minutes, flip over your, assignment, and you're gonna do the back. The back, you can complete the entire back in 10 minutes or less. So flip over your assignment. I'm gonna set a timer for 10 minutes. You have plenty of time to finish the back side of your assignment. You can check your work with me.
You both have to simplify to make it work, but can you only simplify one?
What do you mean?
That's the 14 and 7. You can simplify 10, but you cannot simplify 3.
Yeah, it doesn't. You can't, no. All right, you should not be on your phone right now. Put your phones down and do the back side of your homework. No. Cube is the inverse of cube rooting. Everybody should be able to finish the back side of their homework right now. You guys should be off your phones and doing the back side of your homework. Some of you have already done it. The rest of you need to do the back side.
So we turn in the homework.
If you have the homework from last time, yes, you should turn it in. But you'll have time to finish it today, I believe. Yes. All right, let's continue on at the top of our notes. So these are the steps to multiply radicals. So to multiply radicals, you'll start with the numbers that are in front. Those are called coefficients. And those are just the numbers in front. So a coefficient is just the numbers in front. And then you will also multiply the stuff inside. The name doesn't really matter, but it's called the radicand. You're going to multiply the coefficients, multiply the radicands. When you multiply the radicands, it's just the numbers inside. But we also need to remember what we just did in that you add exponents. Okay, you will add exponents. So we're going to do this step by step. So you're going to multiply the numbers in front. So this is 6 times 4 is 24. And then I'm going to multiply this stuff inside. So I have 8 times 2 is 16. And then when I have the exponents, x and x, this one has 3, this one has, what's the exponent if there isn't one? 1. So I have 3 and 1 makes 4. And then for the y's, how many y's do I have? 8. At this point, this is where we started last class. So now just from here, we're going to simplify. So if you were struggling last class or you weren't here, this is what we did. So this is a square root. So we're going to use our handy dandy charts. And if you don't have a chart, you should get a chart, make a chart, because you'll be able to use this on your quiz. And we're going to be looking down the square column, the x to the second power column. And we're going to be looking to see, did you find 16?
Yeah.
So I'm going to rewrite this 24. And this is the same thing as 4 to the second power. And I'm going to rewrite my exponents too. So 4 is the same thing as 2 and 2. So I can say x squared. And then y, I'm going to break it up. And how many times am I going to write it? Yep. And now anything that has an index that matches the exponent, and remember that even though it's not written, there is a 2 here. Anytime the index matches the exponent, then we'll cancel it out and it'll get rewritten into the front. So 4 is going to go in the front. I have 2 x's and they'll go together as a group. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 y's and they will go together as a group. When I write it out in front, the number that was already there is going to multiply by the number that gets pulled out in front. There's nothing left underneath the square root, so there's no more square root. Now all I have to do is multiply 24 times 4. Not y squared, y to the 4th. Not every time that you work these problems does the radical go away. Just so happens in this problem it did. The next problem, we're going to do the same way. And so as we look back at the first problem, we have to remember that we multiply the coefficients and then we multiply the radicands. So these numbers multiply together and these things multiply together. So we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to multiply these numbers together and multiply these things together. So 2 times 3 gives me 6. And then I'm going to put the 4th root of 8 times 2. How many x's do I have? 8. And how many y's? 4. Alrighty, now I want to rewrite things with an exponent of what? 4. So I can use my chart and I can look down the x to the 4th column and see if I can reduce that. So do you find 16 in the x to the 4th column? Yeah, it's 2. And then I'm going to rewrite the x's. So I'm going to have x to the 4th and x to the 4th, and y is already to the 4th. And then anything that has an index that matches the exponent can go out into front. I'm going to bring the y's, or sorry, the x's as a group. And again, I get left with nothing underneath the radical. That doesn't mean that it always happens. It just so happens on these two problems. The number that you bring out into the front, they will multiply. So this becomes 6 times 2. The 2, when it comes out into the front, it multiplies the 6. So that's how I get 12. And that, my friends, is it. I would like for you to do your homework.